YouTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Ryan DiBernardo. I'm 20 years old and I'm documenting the journey of building wealth in my 20s. I wanted to create a business and I chose the barbering industry to do so. Right now, I'm in the process of setting the foundation of my career. Today, I want to go backwards and talk about what led me to these decisions, what took me to barbering, and what I had to do to get there. I'm a newly licensed barber. I've had my license for about a month, but I've been cutting hair for almost 5 years now. I started as a sophomore in high school. What led me to barbering was kind of just by chance. I never really had a passion for much. I never knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. I always wanted to be an NBA player, NFL player, but that wasn't really in my cards. I'm not that good at sports. So even when I started cutting hair, it was something like I just like to watch on the internet. Even back in middle school, I would watch 360 GZ just for entertainment, not really because it was something I wanted to do. When I started as a sophomore, it was during COVID. So it was a lot of time on my phone, a lot of time just scrolling through, watching YouTube videos, all of that, Instagram. And what I found myself watching a lot was barbering content. And it ultimately just ended up being something I wanted to try. And what really influenced that was getting my haircut. I would go, funny enough, to the owner of this shop. I started going to him when I was 14. Throughout this process, he's been what kind of led me to it. Not really on purpose, but just watching content. So my girlfriend, when I was 15 years old, she got me some clippers for Christmas. And that very same day, December 25th, 2020, is when I did my first ever haircut. And man, that haircut was so bad. I'll put it up on the screen. It was bad. My sister's fiance, he was the only one who would let me cut his hair. And I don't know why, but he was the guinea pig for a while and I was messing up pretty bad. But for some reason, I just kept with it. I don't know why. I don't really know why I love barbering so much. It's just something about it. The first time I ever cut hair was December 25th, 2020. The first paying customer I ever had was March 16th, 2022. I got $10 on Cash App for the cut, and it felt great. So I went, what is that, almost a year and a half, a little over a year of just cutting for fun, just watching YouTube videos, messing up my sister's fiance, messing myself up, and I just stuck with it for some reason. So by the end of my junior year is kind of where I could finally get to that point where I was charging $5 for a haircut, because it was like, if it was free, kids would be like, man, it's free, you must suck. So I had to charge something, $5, to get people in my chair. So I would cut in gym class. That was like where I would get people to come. I'd be like, hey bro, I'm a barber, come check it out. I'd get cuts from my barber and be like, hey, I did this myself, check it out, like it's fresh cut. But going into my senior year is kind of where things picked up. I was posting a lot on Instagram, and people for some reason were willing to take the risk of getting a haircut from me. I don't know if it was the price or they just really messed with me, so they were willing to try it out. I don't know what it was, but it started to build up and gain traction, and I started to really enjoy it. And it was something that I was proud of. Like, I'm a barber. I'd watch YouTube videos all day, tutorials, Instagram reels, just learning what I could do. And it was later on in my senior year that I really was on the fence of what I wanted to do. I loved barbering at that point, and I wanted to keep doing it. And it came a choice where I had to decide what was I going to do after high school. It was barbering college or going to college. And I had a few options. My girlfriend went to Ohio State. A lot of my friends went to Ohio State. I applied to some different schools, all within Ohio. And I remember having the really tough choice when I got accepted into Ohio State. And I remember praying and being like, God, I trust you. Whatever choice you think is right, just give me like the sign, and I'll make that decision with your will. And I remember after praying that, the next morning the reward email came out, which is like how much the college will give you. So when that came out, Ohio State emailed me, and it was like enough money. Like it was almost the full tuition. Plus I had FAFSA, which was the full FAFSA, and then I had like $3,000 of scholarships from high school. So it was enough money to have that year for free, and that was kind of felt like the right decision to make. I was leaning towards anyways, because it's like everyone out of high school usually goes to college, and I wanted to explore that option because I could always come back to barbering. So that was what I chose to do. Now, when I went to Ohio State, I majored in finance, and that first month I remember I hated so much. I felt so out of place, not what I wanted to do. But eventually got more comfortable, and I grew into it. And I'm very grateful that I went to college, because it is an experience not many people get to have, and it was eye-opening. I got to live on my own. I got to be around people that had different mindsets than me, that came from different backgrounds, that I wasn't used to being around. So I really started to grow in college, and I recognized even more that barbering is what I want to do. And it wasn't really until after the second semester of college, you go home for Christmas, all that, and then you come back. And that's when like business started picking up. Like I was still obviously in school, so I wasn't cutting like full time, but I was doing like 12 to 16, 20 hours cuts, like 20 cuts a week. And I was making money, like not crazy money, but compared to like everyone else in college who's working part-time jobs or doesn't really work, I had money. So it felt good. And on campus, I went to Ohio State, so there's a lot of people on campus. But it was like I was cutting a lot of people. So I would walk around, and not crazy, not like I was a celebrity or nothing, but it was like I would see people I would cut like on campus. Like I couldn't really leave the dorm and not run into someone I know. So it was kind of cool. And yeah, that second semester is when I kind of knew like I want to be a barber. So over spring break, when I came back home, I went to a barber college, and basically I enrolled. I had my application, I paid the fee, and there's a wait list. And that wait list ended up being till July 11th in the summer. So I spring break, went back to school, and it wasn't set in stone that I had to go to barber college. I could go back to Ohio State for the next year. And that was a tough decision because it was scary. Like I said, it was comfortable to be in college. That's what everyone does. They go to college, and being a barber still kind of felt like a risk. Like I was leaving something else on the table, But ultimately I made that decision what was best for me and what I wanted to do. So I went to barber school. I started July 11th. I just graduated this July 1st. So it took about a year. In barber college, they go by hours. And in the state of Ohio, it's 1,800 hours. So what barber college is pretty much the way my school was set up, at least. It's pretty much you're in a barbershop. It's a school, but it's set up the same way. There's like 20 chairs, students. There's like 3 or 4 instructors. People come in, they pay the school like $10, $7. The instructor sends them to a chair, and you do that cut. So school was Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So 40 hours a week. And mind you, the people that are getting haircuts are paying the school. They're not paying me. So it was 1,800 hours of pretty much free haircuts. And that was rough. It was an older style shop too, or school. It was an older style school. So tripods, recording, stuff like that was you couldn't do that. So it was rough as someone who wanted to make content. Couldn't really do it like I wanted to. It was frustrating. and I lost a lot of motivation, but I knew my goal at the end. I knew where I wanted to be. I knew what I wanted to do. So it was kind of 1,800 hours, just push through it. But 1,800 hours went by. I graduated college about 2 months ago, and the last step I needed to do was taking my test. So August 5th, about 3 weeks ago, I went down, took my test, passed it, and I'm in the shop now. And it feels crazy to be here. It's like there's nothing left to do but just focus on my career now, and it feels good. All right, so I had to record a new outro because I wasn't really messing with what I recorded the other day. But really what I want to say was this video was meant to just give some backstory of who I am and so far my journey. But I really want to record this series and post on social media such as YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, just to share what I learned. I'm at the very beginning of my career, and I plan to be successful and build wealth, not only just in barbering. I don't want to be just tied to barbering, but I just want to show you guys kind of the beginning process of having a business, building a brand, and creating wealth. Right now, I really like the position I'm at to create content, because in no way do I feel like I am able to teach yet, but I think I can really show through experience and help some of you guys grow, or whoever may see these videos. If you're interested in seeing the documenting of my journey, me sharing my experiences, me sharing lessons learned, and just overall growth in my business and as well as my life in general. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Go ahead, like it, subscribe, and just follow along with me. Thank you guys.